He wanted today's formal nomination proceedings to go without distractions. Republican delegates on the floor in Tampa had other ideas. During the usually mundane act of adopting party rules this afternoon, this happened.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. Pending of the chair, the ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Conventions aren't supposed to look like that anymore. Those vocal delegates were objecting to rules put in place essentially by Romney surrogates, specifically by John Sununu, the chairman of the Rules Committee. A convention drama in the afternoon that I think the RNC had tried very hard to avoid. Andrea Mitchell is on the convention floor for us in Tampa. Andrea, do we know exactly what all that was about today on the convention floor and how it resolved?
It was resolved in Mitt Romney's favor. They completely muscled the Ron Paul people. Rachel, what this was all about was insurgents like Ron Paul and others like Sarah Palin who believe that the party rules should allow, as they have for the last 4 years, should allow those kinds of candidates to be able to go to state conventions even after a primary or caucus and try to roll up delegates, which they did. So Ron Paul actually got 190 delegates here tonight. Not enough, obviously, to grab the nomination, but enough to perhaps potentially cause an embarrassment. And if he had had one more state, he had Iowa, Nevada, Louisiana, Minnesota, one more in Nebraska, he would have been able to get on the official ballot. So they actually sent top operatives, including Ben Ginsberg, one of the top advisors to Mitt Romney, out to Nebraska to make sure he didn't win. Now the rules have changed so that the party's nominee, the person who really rolls up the delegates, will be able to make sure that those state conventions can no longer have that kind of power. And the Rules Commission chair, who was really involved in all of this, was John Sununu, who knows something about contested conventions. Actually, the last contested Republican nomination fight was 1976. A lot of us were in Kansas City when that happened, and there was a lot of excitement. But you and Mitt Romney didn't want that kind of excitement. What do you say to the Ron Paul supporters who are very disappointed tonight?
Well, you know, let's understand fundamentally what the concern of the party is. Iowa's a great example. Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum each got about 35% of the vote, 70% of the vote, and the rest was distributed amongst the other candidates. Ron Paul's numbers were close to single digit. But they go and they cram the next caucus part of it, and they, in essence, come away with all the Iowa votes. That undermines the vote of 1 million Iowans who went to the caucus, and that's not fair. And so they like to abuse the process, in my opinion, when it serves them. But when people follow the rules, as we did here, and they got upset at the Rules Committee, but the vote on the issue they were concerned about was 78-14. They really have nothing to complain about.
Do you think it's going to be hard to get them to be enthusiastic about Mitt Romney after this fight? Was this just a dust-up, or is it something more important?
No, I think it's a dust-up. I think Ron Paul himself is smart enough to know that this country can't be saved unless we get rid of this president. And I think he will be very helpful in the long run.
Governor Sununu, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And the judgment here is that Ron Paul wants a future, a political future for his son, Rand Paul, the senator, of course, from Kentucky, and that's why he didn't push this fight beyond where it went today. Rachel?
Andrea, thank you very much. Good to get John Sununu on the record about that. What was so remarkable about that, in part, was to see not just the Ron Paul folks, but people like Michelle Malkin, who has a big constituency on the right, and Freedom Works, the Dick Armey, sort of AstroTurf Tea Party group, and a lot of other people taking their side in this one, not leaving the Ron Paul folks out on their own. It's interesting to see Sununu sort of dismiss it as a Ron Paul only phenomenon. I guess we'll have to wait to see if that sort of dissent does roll on forward.
That's what the Mitt Romney people hope.
All right, I appreciate it, Andrea. We'll be back with you later.
Thank you. You bet.
The convention schedule, of course, was upended because